I take it by the presence of that troublesome hound of yours that the situation in the kitchen is handled? Well, at least one of us will have had a decent dinner. Perhaps your hound left something I can feed my guests. Darling, you remember Lady Landra, Ban Lawrence's wife?
I think we last met at your mother's spring salon.
I'm so proud of my pup's mastery of tact and diplomacy.
Well, it was a lovely salon, from what little I remember.
Which wouldn't be much, considering we had to pour you into the carriage afterwards.
You remember my son, Dyron. He's riding with your father tomorrow.
It's good to see you again, my lord.
And this is my lady-in-waiting, Iona. Do say something, dear.
It is a great honor, my lord. I have heard many wonderful things about you.
Don't look now, Eleanor. But I believe the girl has a crush on your lad.
Lady Landra!
Hush, Landra. You'll turn the poor thing scarlet.
As it pleases you, my lord.
I think perhaps I shall rest now, my dear. Dyron, I will see you and Iona at supper.
Perhaps we'll retire to the study for now.
Good evening, your lordship.
You should say goodbye to Fergus while you have the chance. Yes, your father mentioned that. You haven't got it into your head that you want to be recruited. There's enough here at the castle to occupy you. I don't need you off chasing danger like your brother. If he's not out with his men, probably upstairs with Oriana. I know it's difficult to stay in the castle and watch others ride off, but we must see to our duties first. You understand that, don't you? You are here. Trust me, you'll get your chance for excitement soon enough. As do I. Your father and brother are marching off to fight Maker knows what. All the assurances in the world don't comfort me, but it wouldn't help for us to take up arms and follow. Fergus and your father have their duty, and we have ours. For a few days. Then I'll travel with Lady Landra to her estate, and keep her company for a time. Your father thinks my presence here might undermine your authority. Good. I was worried you might be nervous about running the castle alone. I needn't have been concerned. I love you, my darling boy. You know that, don't you? Go do what you must, then. I will see you soon.
Hello, my dear boy. By chance, I am beginning to teach these young squires about your family's history.
Do we have to? History is boring.
Boys, you are referring to the Couslands, the very family in whose castle you live. Show some respect. If the mind is not exercised, it withers just as the body does. Perhaps you'd care to join me in teaching the lesson? Wonderful. Oh, the Cousland history is long indeed. Where shall we start? Well, records are vague, but the Couslands became Tierns during the Black Age. Is that familiar, child? Good. I'm pleased some of my lessons seem to have stuck. At that time, your family held only the minor title of Ban. When the werewolves reached this area, Ban Mather Cousland organized a curfew and patrols within the city. Several other local bands supported his efforts by swearing oaths of fealty, making him their Tiern. Well, I'm glad some of my lessons don't disappear into that yawning chasm between your ears, young man. A pity you don't spend the same care whetting the edge of your mind as your tongue. At any rate, your family has held the Tournere of High Ever since before King Callan had united Ferelden. In fact, Tierna Elathea Cousland battled Callanhad to maintain High Ever's independence. The Kuslands are ardent royalists now, but at that time, Calenhad was unknown and considered dangerous by many. When Calenhad's army reached Highever, Tierna Elethea led the local bands against him. Obviously, Calenhad won. Calenhad wished to unite Ferelden, not conquer it. After Elethea's men were defeated, Calenhad asked her to swear fealty. The boulder where they held council still stands today as a memorial of that event. The history between the Kuslands and the House reaches back to the Orlesian occupation. During your grandfather's rule, of course, Orlais found it difficult to hold these lands. During the rebellion against Orlais, several battles were fought near Highever. The port village of Harper's Ford was the Turnier's center. Its Arl was Tarleton Howe. Though nearly 90, he was still as sharp and bitter as cheap ale. Your grandfather openly supported the rebellion, but Howe sided with Orlais. Your family was forced to seize Harper's Ford before it was all over. The Howes eventually joined the rebellion, when all of Ferelden united behind King Merrick and General Loghain. Just as now we united behind Merrick's son, King Cailan, to fight the Darkspawn. Thank you for indulging an old man.
Does that mean we have to listen to you now?
Silence! I will not have you two becoming smart-mouthed hooligans. Perhaps you should go. I doubt they need any more distraction. I'm just going to settle in here and apparently just talk to myself.
Good evening, my lord.
Mother says the Darkspawn will all be killed and I won't see one. Is that true? Mother says the Darkspawn will all be killed and I won't see one. Is that true?
That is a wonderful dog. He seems very noble and intelligent. Greetings once again, my lord. My lord is very kind, thank you. Lady Landra has been very good to me. I am lucky. If I may, your mother has no ladies-in-waiting herself. Is that usual for a noblewoman of her rank? You are very kind, my lord. I'm nobody special. You make me blush. My family has been in service to hers for many years. Lady Landra elevated my place as a reward for our loyalty. I hope this position might pass to my daughter. Forgive me, I shouldn't have mentioned her. She does. Many people say she looks a great deal like me. I'm the only one who sees her father in her. I have risen very high for my people. I would not tempt fate by wishing more. Lady Landra is good to her elven servants. That is not true in many households, but I hear it is in yours. It speaks well of your father to show such compassion. I am an open book, my lord. What would you like to know? Lady Landra's manor is not half so large as your castle, so my family lives in the alienage. There, we do not stand out quite so much. In an alienage, my daughter learns what it means to be elven, as much as possible. So much of our history has been lost. That is an awkward question. What do you mean? Some humans, yes, without question. No longer. I have little time for such things. You flatter me, my lord. I am not so pretty that suitors are lining up, if that's what you mean. Of course. Aren't we doing just that? What else did you have in mind? I see. I think I might like that. If I come to your door once everyone is asleep, would that be agreeable, my lord? Until